So going to Blakey Hall for the past few years has been really meaningful for Billy. And I think it all goes back to when I first started going as a freshman. So it was like 3 years ago this semester. I went for my service learning, and all the other ladies, there were a few gentlemen, were like really excited that like Elon students were coming, would always light up when we came, and they would ask us so many questions. And I always noticed that Billy, like, she did introduce herself, but she was also rather distant, and kind of just like brushed us aside, like we didn't really matter that much. And I think that's what actually drew me towards her, was because I gravitated towards like, what's wrong, like why is she not like the others. So then after she kind of realized that I was going to keep coming back, and at first it was because of a requirement, but I actually just loved going also. But I think once she realized that I wasn't just someone who was going to come once and never come back, or like maybe come like every like 3 months and stuff like that, she started to open up to me. And that's when I realized that her son had actually died a few weeks prior to us starting our fall semester. And he died like really suddenly in his sleep. And I think he had a drug problem or something bad with his history, so they weren't that close at the time. So I know that really impacted her and probably made it even harder. And then obviously losing a child is never going to be an easy thing. And then as we got closer, it actually took me about 2 semesters for her to start telling me about her husband, who had died now it's been 8 years, so about 5 years ago then. And he died like slowly. He had Alzheimer's, and he just deteriorated and withered away. And I know that was extremely hard for her, just from what other people have said at Blakey Hall, because they actually got brought in together. And I know it was really, really hard for her, and also embarrassing to like have him kind of deteriorating slowly. So I think that is partially what brought us together, was because she'd lost so many, or the 2 of the most important people in her life, like really close together. And she'd also lost her independence, like being at Blakey, she can't drive or anything like that. She relies on people to take her everywhere, like to the doctors if she needs something. She like didn't even know what Starbucks coffee was until I brought it to her. But I think just us being able to form that bond, and her knowing that I am not going to like disappear, just have allowed us to get really, really close. And I know she really counts on me, and she calls me sometimes, and I'll give her a call, and I write her in the summer. So I think that, and the fact that she has told me that she wishes I was her granddaughter, have really made it meaningful for me. And I know that really means something to her, because she isn't the type of person, from what I've gathered, that really likes everyone. So I kind of feel privileged that I mean that much to her. And I guess another part of going to Blakey Hall in general is that a lot of people do die. And I've seen that firsthand. There were a few people there in my freshman year who I talked to a lot, and then when I came back for my sophomore fall, like 3 of them had died. And then it kind of just happens every like few months. And I mean, it's to be expected, because they're all very old, obviously, or they wouldn't be in assisted living. But that is also really hard. So I think it's nice for her to have someone young, because I think for a lot of the residents, like the friends that they have, they kind of don't think it's like a temporary thing, because they don't know who's going to die and when they're going to die. So I think that is also, like, my age is probably beneficial and good, because nothing is going to be expected to happen to someone young.